Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will be on right after these songs.
But if I had an opportunity to let these little young sahabs know something, take care of y'all bodies, you know what I mean? Don't take care of y'all chicken. You feel me? Don't take care of y'all mentals, because look, we ain't lasting that long.
Okay, see, I'm a tad bit eclectic. Thoughts tangential and heretic. Sprinkle ADHD and my dreams become prophetic. Deaths and overdoses, suicides and wedding dresses. A curse that evolves and messes, or a gift that truly blesses. Visions of a future of successes. Yet me and these ladies are impressed with. Girls be thinking I'm obsessive or I'm thirsty.
How do I tell them I feel unworthy?
They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride. Why my life feels like a lie. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride. Why my life feels like a lie. I can write, direct, and act. Can even rhyme and rap. Humble and don't see it as a big deal. Why is that? Well, I was used, abused, beaten, battered, made it set and played by myself. Yeah, it's whack. See, I grew up lonely and sad. Got angry like my dad, spit venom like my mom, and grew to hate myself along the way. I never learned the social skills to play in the world, but shit was just a fad. I finally gotten full mad. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride. Why my life feels like a lie. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride. Why my life feels like a lie. Imposter syndrome makes me mope. Tell them. My emotions are a kaleidoscope. When words does that make me feel worthy? Yet nope, therapy has taught me how to cope. Damn, I've learned it can't be done by smoking dope, or getting blackout drunk like a trope, or me and women too on Robin Pro, or getting busy cause it makes my heart want to explode. Damn. I learned you just gotta meditate when you're feeling angry and you're straight hating. Damn. Your life and your friends think you're flaking. Damn. If only they can know what I'm debating. Damn. If only women knew what I was waiting. Tell them. Easy for the other guys, for me frustrating. My brain's in another dimension, translates in the pain in my heart as I write this saying. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride. Why my life feels like a lie. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride. Why my life feels like a lie.
If you got problems in your life, or you just feel like you need to talk to somebody, please do. It's important to take care of our mental health, because otherwise, we're crazy like the rest of the world. I hope you find peace and love.
Welcome to the shop of Anonymous. I swear I don't want anything to do with this. I promise. If you hear me screaming from the top, I'm dropping knowledge. As a bearer's too far gone for a rookie, so I'm calling this game over for you chumps. Like run is all I know and do. Breathing fire like a dragon's orgy, power coming through. Yeah, I'm working 3 jobs so that I can frack in a crew. That money you dummy and honey can take that love from me. Going to the future and never coming back. Marty McFly, not more like his dad. Trying to be calm, all this news is just whack. Propaganda flying, so now everybody mad. Empathy is gone, so we all for attack. If you disagree, you just stupid and sad. Using tolerance must be smoking crack. Ignorance is bliss, yeah, just to die, yeah. Two sides of the same coin, killer. Why we ever stop living up for pillars? Acting like everything in life is be a thriller. We living in the world written by Frank Miller, cause the Dark Knight returns, so now we turn. See our heroes messed up and now we spurn. Then because it pisses us off and now we burn. Liquor and lives to the ground, cause we yearn to be in a position so that we earn millions and millions and millions. But then we turn into the very thing we hate, and we revert and we refer to the lines that we rehearse. Spread love and forgiveness only to sink deeper. Distract myself from the world. Water, earth, fire, air, swirl. Bend it to your will, then hurl.
flying buffalo, why don't you give it a whirl? Grab a saber, then just twirl. Force cut a pear, give her a pearl. Power unleashes a churl. Join the dark side, you better unfurl. Guess it's time I get back to work. Captain of my own enterprise, call me Kirk. Anger and depression always seem to lurk around every corner, so I read this just a perk. Everybody mood up, cause we screwed up. Living in a country where we shoot up. Anybody disagree, just to move up the food chain where you grew up. Otherwise they beat you down cause you used up. From the boot up, knew my set program, think you knew us. But you shoe us, you only care about us to subdue us. Just to screw us, living in a country full of Judas. Stab you in the back, USA or Brutus. Calling Lucius, bringing out the dark night, now we tuned up. Time to scoop up any positivity while the masses are like clueless. They can only catch the speed, miss the new ones. Opportunists, leave them naked in that ground, talking ruthless. I am ruthless, visions full of kids, grown ghoulish, broken ruthless. Spitting problems like Confucius, Tommy, to Reddick, Nostradamus. Who this?
Who this? Who this? Who this? Who this?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, May 27th, 2021. Welcome to episode 57 of Lights, Thunder, Action, where every week two Thunder buddies discuss all things Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and the latest happenings in the entertainment industry. I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
My name's David Thompson, and today we have an eternal collection of news for you. Thomas, you wrote that up. I love that that word usage, I guess how you'd say it. Yeah, a lot of news today, guys. We weren't here last week. I know you missed us. We are back talking all news today. We got no big main topic. We're still waiting for Loki to come out. Can't wait for that. That's coming up in just a few weeks now. Can't wait for that.
Days.
Yes. And yeah, a ton of news going over the latest when it comes to Aaron Taylor Johnson being Kraven, to the major Warner Media Discovery deal. We're going to dive into all of that. But before then, Thomas, what do you got for me?
As you know, every week we're live streaming directly into your homes and phones via Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. All of those locations can be found at Linktr.com/LightsThunderAction, whether it is our Facebook, our Twitch, our Twitter, or our YouTube channel, or you're watching on the HWWS WebTV channel on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and also, I do believe, their Twitter as well. We are everywhere. But if you don't like looking at our ugly mugs, which my beard is getting bigger and my face is still getting uglier, so I can't help that. David, where can they listen to our beautiful voices?
Yeah, you guys can find the audio podcast version of all of our live shows on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and our hosting site, Spreaker. There's a few other places you can find us, pretty much anywhere you find audio podcasts. There was a transition period where we changed feeds. If you see an old feed up there, it'll have our old logo that you saw play. If you were watching, you saw, our old logo where it didn't have our cartoon faces. By Tom Drew. Shout out to Tom again for that awesome new logo. But our new feed, subscribe there, follow there. I know on Apple Podcasts, there was no hitches at all. It was seamless. Everything should roll. If you were subscribed before, you're still subscribed and you're all good. So thank you, audio listeners. You can find this pretty much wherever you find audio podcasts. And please let me know if you have any issues with that. It should be all up to date with all of our catalog of episodes, including our interviews and every little fun thing we do. So Thomas,
yes.
How you doing today?
I am fantastic. I may or may not have just finished yet another work of art. That being another book in the Thrawn trilogy. And It is oh so chef's kiss, my young sir. It is just immaculate.
So yet another Star Wars audiobook down.
Since we have last spoken, I have finished 2 Star Wars audiobooks, and the third one will be starting probably tomorrow.
Are you able to listen while you work?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just throw in an earpiece and listen to a couple chapters depending on what's going on. But lately I've just been filming, so I've been driving a lot. So
awesome.
A lot of car rides, and when I'm not filming, I'm door dashing. So I'm basically living in my car at this point. But things are good. Zombies is going great. We don't really have the full time to dive into how absolutely awesome it's been going, but that is because we have a whole host of news, which we'll get to. David, you beautiful Clark Kent doppelganging son of a bitch. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Life's treating me well. My birthday's coming up pretty soon. Looking forward to that. It's summer. It's really hot outside. But things are looking up. Like vaccines are rolling out and COVID things are looking better, I guess. Obviously, speaking of like what I've been watching or anything like that, I have been doing a little bit of a Pixar rewatch. I was just watching Ratatouille. I watched Finding Nemo. I watched Cars. It's been a blast doing that. But what I'm more excited about, what I wanted to share, is that tonight I'm seeing A Quiet Place 2 opening night, 7:35 showing. So gotta get out of here on time. It's the RPX, which is like the Regal, I don't know, fancy schmancy like theater. Not exactly IMAX, but like they're like, I guess it's like Dolby and all that good stuff. So super excited to see that. So obviously back in the theater, seeing Quiet Place 2, hoping that'll be a cool opening day feel to it. Like I hope the theater's packed. I hope there's a lot of tension in the room because it's a quiet place and it's gonna be dead silent the entire time. Which is funny because I actually hate horror movies, and I probably would have never seen this in theaters if it wasn't for my crave of going back out to the theaters right now. And I also I enjoyed the first one. I watched it at home with my girlfriend like sometime last year. She like got me to watch it. I'm like, this isn't that bad. I think it's just a really well-made movie. Like, because I think sometimes horror movies can be really cheap with jump scares and stuff like that. I'm like, this just sucks. Like, this is just, there's nothing good I'm getting out of this. Whereas, in my opinion, A Quiet Place 1, I thought was a really well-made movie. Obviously, John Krasinski was great in it, and he's just the director and writer. Emily Blunt's great in it, and she'll be back in this one. And I'm looking forward to it. So that's tonight. And then tomorrow, I already booked my tickets for Cruella. So back-to-back nights, got that opening weekend going on for both Cruella and A Quiet Place. But yeah, I'm good.
Wow.
I also, quick thing on me, it's been a bit. I'm writing for another website. So yeah, so I'm still with the direct, of course.
World famous journalist David Thompson over here.
Yeah, crazy world famous. But anyway, yeah, I'm writing for I'm writing for the Diz Insider. It's kind of a funny name, but it makes sense when you read it. Because it's the Disney Insider website, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Kind of spreading my wings a bit, doing some different stuff, focusing more on Disney, and just adding that to another thing where you can find me. I still am, of course, with the direct and love it over there, and can't wait to continue with them and write. I've been writing a bunch a good bit for the direct lately, so check everything out there. But you can also now find me on the Diz Insider website as well. So thank you.
That is magnificent. Magnificent. Really quick, shout out to everyone hanging out in the comments. Obviously, the madman, Terry McIver. He's here. He says he has 2 audiobooks to download over the next couple days. What should I go for? Star Wars. I know that that's not helpful, but I will send you pictures of my entire Star Wars audiobook library. And I'm really trying to slow down because I know that the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy, the next book's not coming out till like September. And once I start, I don't exactly want to stop. So
yeah, I wonder if Terry likes. I feel like Terry likes fictional books because I'm not as big into fiction books. Like I'd rather almost watch something fictional or even like a comic book more. Like I'm more like books that are. I guess it's nonfiction. It would be the simplest way of saying it, but oftentimes it's nonfiction about fictional things or about sports or something fun in life. So yeah.
Julia Delbo
cool.
said she used to write for the Dis Insider too.
Julia from the Direct. Shout out to Julia. Go check out all of her stuff on thedirect.com and wherever else she writes. She's awesome.
What a company, man. Speaking of company men, the HWWS WebTV family is here in the comments. In case you're not sure, and it's like your first time hanging out with us, Terry McIver is a madman of many talents on social media. I like to call him the social media master. Wrong button. He helps us out. Brian Winseloff of Reels and Heels is in the comment. Willow Schuyler of Willow's Pillow Talk. Also, I don't remember her exact title, but the reason we have amazing graphics of every day of what our shows are is Willow Schuyler. Killing it. Also working a day job that she hates just, like the rest of all of us. So we're normal people too, man. That's because corporations don't like human beings. Ryan Permison of Nerd Culture is here, and he is very, very, very excited about the Eternals trailer. Coming up, which don't worry, we'll get right there. It's going to be a lot of fun here. David, did you know that the HWWS WebTV family has a promo code for Suncoast Fan Fest?
Oh, I did not, but I see that scrolling across the bottom of our screen right now.
That is correct. If you would like to utilize our amazing promo code, it is Hangin21. That's capital HANGIN21. No hyphens, no spaces. You just go to suncoastfanfest.com and enter that code when purchasing tickets. Since we're already here in our first ad, we're reading stuff. Let's go ahead and take a quick ad break. It's going to be our only one, and then we're going to come back and we are going to go through like 22 news stories. It's going to be crazy. We'll be right back.
In the summer of 1953, private investigator Will Lucky Marks was working as the in-house private eye for Arcane Pacific Pictures. Trapped inside the studio with the killer, Lucky must find the killer before time runs out. Lot 28. Own it today. Available iTunes and Amazon.com.
A small town coroner has to team up with her ex-fiance to save her hometown from a swarm of mutant honeybees. There's action, drama, humor, and maybe even a flamethrower or two. There's definitely a ton of bad bee puns and a very unlikely Hawaiian-wearing hero. This classic sci-fi feature cheese fest, written and directed by Alicia Marie and starring local talent from the Emerald Coast, invites you to join our journey from conception to reception by visiting Linktr.com/Zombies the Movie to keep up with all the buzz and donate to GoFundMe. Linktr.com/Zombies the Movie. ZOMBEEZ the Movie. Also now filming. I don't know why the Emperor's here.
I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Dina Marie.
I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
It's Willow Schuyler. I'm Cosplay Michael.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys,
please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please
subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe to HWWS
WebTV.
Great bunch of people.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows
and videos.
You're going to want to do that, so do that soon.
So we can cross that 20,000 mark.
And get us to 100,000 subscribers.
To 1 million and 10 million and 100 million.
On HWWS
WebTV.
You'll really like it. I guarantee it.
Thank you.
Welcome, Glasscock Park, to this glorious day.
Today is your lucky day. We got some great stuff. This is Glasscock Park.
Marvelous.
Thank you.
Come on, let's go. I don't have all day, people.
Now, it's time.
Tell your friends, huh?
I will tell my friends because that show looks glass cocking amazing. You like that? I just made up a whole new word. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to sweep the internet. Glass cocking amazing.
I was wondering if there was any more in there.
No, it's not. That's it. That's the punchline,
Right.
dude. I'm definitely going to work that into some raps now. I just like the extra. All right, David. It's time. Ladies and gentlemen,
yes,
it is time for this beautiful journalist to my right to enlighten us with new information from across this vast multiverse. David Thompson works for not only thedirect.com, but now disinsider.com. You see him here every week, and that is why it is everyone's favorite segment.
What the news?
All right, starting off hot today with what the news
just
dropped last night. Yeah, I mean seriously, like what the news when you looked at this. So Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Wait, can I?
Yes.
Can I want to read the headlines because I have so much fun writing these dumb things.
Sure.
Aaron Taylor Johnson cast as Kraven the Hunter. You didn't see that coming?
Yeah, I was wondering. I felt like no one, make a joke of that on Twitter or anything. That was.
Oh, really? I saw it everywhere.
Oh, really? Oh, I was missing. But anyway, yeah. So Aaron Taylor Johnson's returning to Marvel, not in the MCU. ... Question mark as Kraven the Hunter. There was reports that came out like a couple years ago now that like Spider-Man would appear in this movie, but who knows if that's still a thing. They apparently approached Adam Driver, Keanu Reeves, Brad Pitt, James David Washington for this role. They ended up landing Aaron Taylor Johnson, which I think is a pretty good casting. This is my thing. I don't know about this movie as I do with all these Spuckum, even though we mispronounced that. SUMC, the Sony Universe of Marvel characters, with Venom, Morbius, and now it's going to be Kraven, obviously, and then like Spider-Woman, I think is coming at some point, maybe. Mm-hmm. But it's set to come out January 13th, 2023. So it's a little down the road, but it's coming. And will Spider-Man be in it? We don't know. But Thomas, what were your thoughts on this casting when you first saw it?
I believe my official response to you was, holy shit. Because I really did not see that come. Like, I didn't see Aaron Taylor Johnson coming back to a comic book movie of any sort. Because, he's the type of guy like, I did that. But he always did say never if the story's right, etc. And Kraven is a beloved character for a lot of reasons by a lot of people from different eras. Personally, one of my favorite villains ever, easily in my top 5 from Spider-Man, because of the 1996 Spider-Man show, right? Mm-hmm. It was something else. And that's what got me into it. But the fact that he's going to come in as Kraven makes me really question, like MCU or not MCU. I would personally love to see this guy be in the MCU as Kraven.
Yeah.
Through the multiverse. Interesting that it's also announced now, mind you. Right?
That's true.
Now as we are building hype again, which really makes you wonder, David, will he show up in Spider-Man?
I mean, at this point, with all the rumors and speculation, what people seem to be convinced of, I'm not ruling anything out at this point. I kind of doubt it, but who knows? I mean, I think it would be. I saw some tweet. It's like, oh my gosh, you guys aren't gonna give Wanda any rest when she sees him. She's gonna lose it again. But yeah, definitely interesting casting. I'm happy for him that he gets to come back to at least a Marvel property, just because. He was only in that one movie, and he died in that movie. And it's, I think a lot of the actors that are in the MCU especially would say it's such a cool experience to be, one of these characters for a long time and be beloved and be able to go to Comic-Con and just like be looked at as just like a higher being in some ways, it's just an awesome thing. And I think he'll be good in the role. That's kind of my bottom line. I think he'll be good in the role. I'm dubious of what the movie will actually be and what it will become. Because in any of these, it's like, yes, it's a good villain, but it's normally a good villain because it's along with Spider-Man. There's those, they're at odds in the comic books and in the animated shows and things like that. And we're not getting that in these live action, what is it? SUMC. SUMC.
Before we
movies.
move on, is it SUMC? I thought it was Sony Pictures Universe of Marvel characters.
In the report I read, it said Sony Universe of Marvel characters.
So they were smart to drop the P. That's
but
good, that's what it originally was.
You could put a P in there.
It was originally Spuckum.
I still like Spuckum.
Okay, listen,
that's still not even pronouncing it right.
I know. It's not like they make movies
dyslexia.
right. Ooh, I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry, Sony. I'm messing with you. Seriously, dyslexia is a great reason to much better excuse than my dig.
But honestly, so like this, this movie I don't know about, but the next thing we're going to talk about, this next movie, are we going to watch it, Thomas? You just want to talk about it?
I was hoping you would ask. I want to talk about this beautiful, mind-bending trailer that tells us literally nothing, and it's my favorite piece.
Yeah, it really. I mean, here's the thing. I know jack squat about the Eternals. I've never read a comic book. I'd maybe heard of them because of like the Thanos connection or like just some things about them. I basically never heard of them before the announcement of the movie. I didn't see Nomadland, so like I know Chloe Zhao won Best Picture, but like I don't even think I've seen any of her work. So people have been very excited about this movie. There's been reports and word and whispers coming out that, oh my gosh, like Marvel has something incredible on their hands. Like they don't even know what they have on their hands with this movie. And I'll tell you, I kept telling everyone I was talking to, people, friends at the direct, anyone. I'm like, I just want to see a trailer for this. Like I'm gonna leave up, what my opinions are until I see a trailer for this movie, because I seriously just have no idea about the property. And like, we're going to watch it right now, but I will tell you, this completely won me over. And part of me also doesn't even want to learn more. Like it's actually kind of refreshing going into a Marvel movie that looks completely different than anything else we've ever seen, first off. And secondly, that I don't come in with these expectations because I don't know these characters. It's a totally out there concept of what these heroes even are to us and in this multiverse at this point.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, this trailer, this teaser, it really did it for me. And I'm in. I'm in now. I am in on the Eternals. Can't wait for, I believe it's November 6th.
Something like that.
But just the cinematography here.
How loud is it?
It's good enough. It's perfect.
So quiet. Cool.
Yeah, quiet.
Shout out to IGN on YouTube for posting it on their YouTube.
Yeah. Even just this, I was showing my girlfriend Jasmine, who I often reference on this show, and she goes, "This is Marvel?" ? Like she was like, "This is Marvel?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Marvel." And then this appears, and it's like looks a little bit more like it, but it seriously does not look like an MCU Disney property.
It does,
especially at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think it does ever.
Yeah,
until
there's
like that
some CGI stuff.
But there's one scene that makes me think of like Marvel Disney.
Right. The end, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The end.
It just looks awesome, man. It like actually looks awesome. Like it looks beautiful.
And that thing with the hand going to the hand, we've seen that before without the knife in the hand.
Yeah. Casting
and that looked it looks like they're in Babylon there. And I want to rewind really fast because it's important to note here, she's walking Babylon in her normal clothes and all of a sudden she's there, and I think that is like her memories overlaying / being in the moment, unless she can time travel, which would be crazy.
I don't know anything about the Eternals. I understand they've been around for a long time, which I think is a cool concept of what we're going to see them throughout different time periods. But yeah, I can only speculate, really. Sweet little team shot there. So many of them. There's so many of them.
I know. I love it too, man.
And I like how Jon Snow, Kit Harington, isn't a part of them. He's like Black Knight or whatever.
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
Hey, give me Richard Madden leading the Avengers. I'll take that. You know?
I wouldn't.
Okay, but like I think he'd fit in well.
I'm just saying, man, we saw what happened when he led the North. It didn't go so well. So
hey, fair point.
And with Zemo running around, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, I'm here for it. My hype level, David, where is your hype level?
Hey, it's up there now. I mean, it's never. I tweeted something. It was surprising where I'm like, what movie would you like to see like more right now? And I was surprisingly like out of the choices, like, you know, like Eternals. Like actually, I think it might. It's definitely neck and neck with Shang-Chi now, and maybe even a little ahead. And that is big coming for me because before this, I was super excited for that movie, and like this movie, I didn't really like get or what like. Just didn't understand why I'd be excited for it quite yet, but now I do understand. I mean, I'm definitely more excited for it than Black Widow. Black Widow to me feels like it like already came out in my head. I mean, it didn't, but it's like, oh my gosh, that movie's like such a long time coming, and we kind of I feel like know what we're getting into. This feels so unique and new and special. I mean, it's the most previous, like the most recent, I should say, Academy Award winning director directing a Marvel movie in November in Oscar season. A month before Spider-Man. I think it's going to be awesome. Obviously, nothing can match my hype for Spider-Man No Way Home, but this, it's definitely in my top 3 most anticipated movies of the year now. And like most of that list is going to be MCU. I don't know how it compares like Suicide Squad and stuff, but honestly, I think some of the options on that tweet I'm referencing was like Suicide Squad, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and I'm like, Eternals kind of looks just amazing, you know, and unique. I think Suicide Squad is going to be awesome as well, but I seriously like my hype is rising at quite the clip.
Yeah, and you know I'm a hype. I'm you know me. I'm pretty much always all the way hyped for Marvel, right? Like it never dies, man. And you know, same for DC. I'm a little bit less hype on the DC, but that's because I didn't, you know, that's not the one I gravitated to the most. So, but I'm all the way hyped for DC, which you'll see later on, ladies and gents. People compare Richard Madden to Sebastian Stan all the time. It's going to get even crazier now. Yes, Julia, I was wondering all week who he looked like. And then when I watched it on my right here, cool. I was like, oh, he looks like Sebastian Stan. Oh, that's funny. That's interesting. You know what else is interesting? That WandaVision shows the gift that keeps on giving. Jack Schaefer inks Marvel deal. You know, we'll get to this question eventually, but who should she tackle next?
You know, I really don't know. I'm excited to see who it is. You know, the report comes out that she signed a deal with Marvel Studios and 20th Television, which is a Disney. You know, they obviously absorbed Fox, and now it's a new, you know, television branch of theirs. A 3-year deal, where she's going to produce shows with Marvel Studios and Disney's TV Studios units. It's unclear, you know, what projects. Like you said, this is kind of a quick story. I think this proves that they love what they saw out of WandaVision. You know, conducting that, you know, that crazy show of the, you know, all the different moving parts with that and doing it in a really, really well done way. I mean, I love this move for them. I think it's smart to keep these great creators and producers on, sign them on to multi-year deals, keep them on, keep things consistent. It probably helps with continuity as well and within the MCU. You know, out of upcoming Disney Plus shows, maybe it's something we haven't even heard of yet. Because I'm trying to think of like a lot of Disney Plus shows that we know are coming are kind of already in production. So off the top of my head, I don't really have anything. Thomas, do you have any ideas or any thoughts on this casting? Or not casting, but deal?
Signing? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know who she should tackle next, you know, and whatever she does next, I have a feeling will be new.
Could you be involved with Secret Wars maybe or Secret Invasion?
I mean, maybe. They're doing a lot of stuff, but like, why would they sign her for that now, right?
She's going to be all over the place. You don't sign someone to this deal and say the 20th television thing. She's going to be having her hands in a lot of different.
Well, and here's what's important. It's not going to be anything new because she just did she was WandaVision. So now she's going to have to do something else from start. Maybe she's taking Wanda further in the universe. Like, why does it have to be someone new? Why can't she tackle Wanda again in a new fashion? What if we get Scarlet Witch and the Vision kind of thing, right? Like that is the next like iteration of their story, and that love and those characters it's just, you know, you rip the comic name and then you figure out what they're going to do with life. Like maybe perhaps they can find some kind of peace, or maybe they kill each other in Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Who the hell knows, man?
Yeah.
I love this signing though. No matter who she tackles is going to be great, because you know, and that's my favorite thing about WandaVision. Like everyone's like, oh, it did have Doctor Strange. The fact they cut him, to me, it makes me so happy, because yeah, I wanted him, but like Wanda deserved that respect. It would not have been smart to have just a white man come in and save the day. Like it would just be stupid.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she overcame her grief in that moment, because grief never goes away.
Yeah.
You just learn to cope with it. You know what else people have to learn to cope with, David? The times they are changing. I don't know why I keep doing head and shadow, but we're here because Amazon, you know, I have a aggressive headline of Amazon buys MGM, but I'm not sure it's official. I heard it might have been a rumor. Okay, it's legit now. Okay.
Yeah. There was a rumor, and now it's an official report coming from Variety. So a trade.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's happening. So I'm going to read straight from Variety here. So it's basically Amazon has bought MGM Studios, which is, you know, hosting or owns James Bond. That's like the biggest property. But this I found interesting. For Amazon, snapping up MGM, which has more than 4,000 movies and 17,000 TV shows in its catalog, is a way to supercharge its Prime Video service with a slew of well-known entertainment properties. In addition, Amazon is anticipating being able to tap into Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer properties, which is MGM, like Pink Panther, Rocky, and yes, the 007 franchises for new originals. So that, Thomas, is what I think is most interesting, where, you know, this isn't a move like any other company, like Disney and Fox. It is to gain that catalog and have all of Pink Panther and 007 and Rocky and or whatever in your catalog on Amazon or on Prime Video, sorry.
On Amazon.
Amazon Prime. But also to take these properties and move them forward and do different things with them. I think spin-off 007 agent shows on Amazon could perform very, very well and be very interesting and cool, you know, series to check out, especially what Amazon's been doing with The Boys and Invincible and maybe doing some darker things. Imagine a dark Pink Panther. That'd be fun. Anyway, Thomas, this deal, Amazon, you know, gets a, you know, richer catalog, you know, increases their worth, I guess, in the streaming wars, and it costs them what, $8.5 billion? That's about it. So, yeah, what are your thoughts, Thomas?
Well, they just bought Bond.
Correct.
For $8.4 billion. Essentially, right? Let's be honest. MGM has a slew of things, but let's look at the stuff that is going on right now from MGM that, I mean, right off the top of my head, Bond is the only thing that comes to mind, other than maybe Wizard of Oz.
Biggest. Yeah.
Right?
And important to point out, Brian, in the comments, thank you, Brian, for pointing this in. Amazon will keep MGM open and continue doing what they do already.
Yes.
That is, yeah, exactly. Like they're not, we're going to get into the AT&T, Warner Brothers, Discovery thing in a second. This is, you know, Amazon's buying them, but they're still going to be their own studio. They're not making them into something else, but they are going to, I think, utilize their those new properties on their streaming service and do new things with it. Yeah.
And let's not, and again, you know, like that's what I'm saying with Bond. That's going to bring people directly to, well, the only place you get, because eventually, let's be real, let's not forget about it. Eventually, those licensing deals with Bond on other places will run out.
Yeah.
They're not in perpetuity usually. There's a, you know, there's always a whatchamacallit. But
there's always a whatchamacallit. Always in life.
There's always a whatchamacallit, my friends. You know, there's I don't remember what the hell I was saying. I got off track. But does this make you roar, David? It made me roar. Like, I'm excited about this. I remember what I was going to say. Amazon is like, yeah, let's make stuff. Let's make whatever we want. Let's buy these properties. Let's buy this script. Well, and now they have direct access and oversight over some of the greatest, most notable, film. One of the most famous filmmaking houses of history. Like MGM is. Everybody knows the Lion Roar, man. Like, if I'm not mistaken, MGM Studios was an actual. I think it was at Universal.
That was MGM Studios was So quick history: MGM Studios was Hollywood Studios at Disney World, but they changed it for rights reasons or whatever. But it was MGM Studio. I mean, MGM is one of the most well-known, I guess, movie studios in American history. Really, ubiquitous amongst film fans.
Yes, and I think Disney used to own MGM, and then they got rid of it. And I think they took some of those assets with them because they were like, "Well, we own this, so they picked and They were picking and choosing. There it is. It'll be really exciting to see what goes on with Amazon and MGM, but they're not the only big situation going on when it comes to direct to consumer. AT&T, the company that I would fight in a death fight for charging my father thousands of dollars after Hurricane Michael, I would fight them to an absolute death. That's right. A corporation can die by my hands. I don't know how, but everything is possible through tacticians. I don't know what that was going on. What does the future hold, David? Because I don't know nothing about this merger. So enlighten me and the rest of the beautiful world.
Okay, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. It's pretty detailed and there's a messy history with AT&T. So in 2018, AT&T decides they're going to buy Time Warner. And then we've us as DC fans especially have witnessed this. We understand. For instance, my brother, I get HBO Max now, he gets it for free because he has AT&T internet. There's little things like that. AT&T bought it in 2018 for whatever reason. It's clearly this move, it was a failure because they were a phone company buying this media conglomerate, and with all its interesting and intricate, avenues and networks and DC and Warner Bros. And all of this. Anyway,
in case you're wondering for the audio listeners, Evan Lanier just popped in the comments. This is David's buddy, best friend, brothers from another mothers and fathers. He just said Alpha Man 82 is here with the smoky nose emoji. Obviously, he's been smoking all the dabs and cocaine. That's how drugs work, right, David? I don't know. I've never done them.
Absolutely how drug works. Anyway, 3 years later, they buy Time Warner. All this shit happens with the Snyder Cut and HBO Max, and it's all under AT&T, and everyone's kind of losing it. Now AT&T is shedding Time Warner, which became Warner Media. They rebranded. And Discovery has bought them, isn't really the right word, but basically in a $43 billion deal, Discovery and Warner Media are going to become a brand new company, which is very interesting. It's something that no one expected. Discovery, very much known for their non-scripted entertainment, such as the Food Network and TLC and HGTV, and obviously Time Warner Warner Media, whatever, it's all the same, is known for, fictional movies, HBO, and now HBO Max and Batman and Superman, all these things. And another interesting point that's very critical is that Discovery CEO David, let me see if I get this right, Zaslav, I'm gonna go with that. He is now going to be taking over this new company, and of course, guys, this is not an immediate, situation. This is going to take possibly a full year for it to become official, and them to announce this new company and this actually see what's actually happening with this entire agreement for the next year. It's probably going to stick basically the same, but knowing it's coming. Current current Warner Media CEO, Jason Killar, it's unclear of his position moving forward. And he is currently the CEO of Warner Media, and he might be out. But here's something interesting that not a lot of people are talking about, but that I found super intriguing when looking at an article was basically, I don't know if I want to read this verbatim. I might. It's pretty good. So Zaslav, who is the CEO of Discovery, basically hits up AT&T CEO John Stankey, who, obviously he's the CEO.
You said that so weird. Let me put it to you in let me hit you with hip terms, since old man David over here. Zaslav slid into John Stankey's DMs and was like, "Sup, bro, let's merge."
Basically, he goes, here's the quote from Zaslav. "I was thinking about John and what we would look like together with his assets and the Discovery global reach and the great libraries we have. I just fired off an email." This was from Variety. Variety wrote that the two got on the phone and spoke about 3 hours later that day. Back to Zaslav. "We've all had a lot of time to ponder during the pandemic." Later he goes, "With Disney accelerating at this point because of COVID, I just looked at that and thought, who could take that on?" Basically looking at Disney Plus numbers and how they were just skyrocketing and becoming the second leading streaming service behind Netflix. When you put us together, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Game of Thrones, Sex and the City, HBO, and Discovery being everywhere in the world with local content, we're better together. I've been doing deals my whole life. The standard always is, are you better together? In this case, we are not just better. We are the best media company in the world, more global than anyone else with all the news, sports, entertainment, and huge tentpoles that we bring together. So, this is a major move. I know Brian Wensloff, who I think is watching right now, he's a fan of this. And, I'll be honest, I am too. As a consumer, as a fan, we should be excited for this. I think a lot of people have thought Warner Brothers specifically has not been under great management since AT&T took over. And this is just, if you're a visual listener, if you're a video listener watching live or watching later, we have up this graphic of everything now that's going to become this Warner Discovery company. It's still TBA on if Discovery Plus, Discovery's streaming service, and HBO Max, Warner Media streaming service, will stay separate and they do a bundle a la Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, like they do over at Disney, or if they will become one grand streaming service with all of these things: Discovery, Food Network, Animal Planet, all these certain things. Warner Bros., CNN, TNT. TNT and TBS. That's a lot of sports. Cartoon Network. That's a huge network. It's crazy. This is a lot of namestay networks and pieces of IP that everyone knows, all going to be under the same company, and it's going to be a huge player in the streaming wars here to come. I went on a rant on Twitter.
Shocking.
Hit firing because I'm like, oh my gosh, 2 more media conglomerates joining. It's not good when all of a sudden, there's gonna. I forget there was a law. What was the lawsuit where people were suing? I think, was it AT&T? I don't know. There's been lawsuits that have gone around that trying to. We don't want our media to become a monopoly. We don't want everything that's getting filtered to us to be coming from 2 or 3 top sources. We're heading that direction, and this isn't helping that cause. But I think as a consumer and putting that aside, this is a good move. It seems like Zaslav, who is the Discovery CEO and will be taking over this new company, from the quotes I've seen, interviews I've read, he seems like he knows what he's doing and will do a fair job with this. I'm excited. I hope they make it one streaming service, honestly, because I think that would just be a powerhouse. And Discovery Plus is global, whereas HBO Max is having a really difficult time going to different markets. And that's part of the deal too, where these two coming together, it's supposed to make this a whole global corporation and get it everywhere in the world and combine what basically is one of the biggest, media that's really simple, but one of the biggest media companies that includes HBO, Warner Bros., DC, and then also TNT, TBS, those sort of things. And then with the, unscripted Food Network, TLC, HGTV own Discovery Planet. Like they basically own that part of the market and combine them and make this grand media extravaganza, which I hope will live on one streaming service, because that just sounds awesome. You only pay the one thing a month, even if it's like $19.99, that will probably be worth it. Considering HBO Max's price right now.
Yeah, for real.
What is HBO Max right now? I don't even know.
It's the same as HBO Now was, which is $16.
Yeah.
I think it comes out to like $16.15 after tax.
And see, we're still living in the good years. Trust me, in like 10 years we're all gonna be saying that we're all gonna be paying the same thing we were 5 or 10 years ago with cable and DirecTV and all this stuff. But right now,
you aren't already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like cable now is like $70 for basic.
Right. Exactly. And that's why everyone's cutting cable. And then it's like, oh, let me just get Netflix for $15. And that's the thing too. I want to talk about
15, Hulu and Disney. Like if you want them all, you got to pay the same price.
Exactly. And that's the thing, Thomas.
You don't even get live sports.
Right.
You don't even get live sports, David. How am I supposed to live without sports?
Yeah, I mean, things are changing, and I feel like the 10 years that we're living in right now, we're in the middle of it, I feel like, where it's these awkward growing pains of transitioning from cable and what we're used to streaming everything, because, people are still paying for DirecTV and streaming, but then also paying for Netflix and Disney Plus and HBO and whatever. But I think ultimately everyone's just going to have streaming services, and live sports, especially, Paramount Plus, Peacock, eventually this new thing with TNT and TBS, like these streaming services will have a la carte live sports, just point blank. It's going to happen because they own the networks that,
I don't know that at all, sir.
Well, I think it already is a thing on Peacock and Paramount Plus that you can watch live sports on there, because they have NBC and CBS, and ESPN Plus will probably become, I think an upcoming deal is going to come with.
That's very true. The ESPN app itself, as long as you have a cable access, which I use my dad's, shout out Pops, I can watch ESPN wherever. And that's the only thing the only TV app I utilize, Brian Winslow in the comments just dropped a bomb. Amazon is trying to buy NFL Sunday Ticket. For the love of God, yes.
I've heard that.
Yes, because I hate having to deal with AT&T and DirecTV in their BS every year with paying their crap. And then I ain't even get started. Amazon would be better, because then they would do a year-to-year situation as opposed to a month-to-month, instead of here's a 4-month contract. Blah, blah. Contracts are kind of the old hat. I mean, in a lot of things,
interesting.
But I just saw that pop up as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Who's got a Yoshi with a backwards cap on as his avatar, which, I mean, yes, honestly, that's awesome. He's saying ESPN gets the NHL next year too, as well as the UFC exclusively. And we know that they recently just got the Super Bowl for 2 out of the next 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the thing too. And I think in these new deals, there are like things that have to do with streaming. And I know the big NBA contract runs out in 2023, 2024. And I know there's already like bids in, for Amazon and things like that. Like they're trying, streaming, people that own streaming services are trying to get live sports, because I think right now we're in the awkward stage of honestly, myself, any kind of like TV show I'm watching that's not sports, it's going to be on Disney Plus, Netflix, Peacock, Paramount Plus. I'm not going to live TV to watch a show anymore. I'm not going to my DVR anymore. But where I am going for cable is live sports exclusively. That's the only reason I'm going on my family's YouTube TV or on my cable here. Like that's the only reason is to watch the NBA playoffs, to watch like whatever live sport I feel like it. And that's the only, I feel like, niche, whatever, however you want to say it, of entertainment right now that hasn't flawlessly moved over to streaming. I feel like that's pretty much it.
You know what? I'm pretty sure TNT, you can watch it on their app.
You can, but you know what it is, Thomas? It's this crappy bull crap where
you gotta have a login, or a cable network.
Maybe too, but you know what it is? They don't give you the right camera angle. it's like 4 different alternate camera angles and they all suck. And it's not just the normal standard like NBA widescreen. Anyone who knows what I'm talking about.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't remember that. I remember watching it on TNT app and it was just basketball.
Okay. If it's March Madness, it's different. But if it's the NBA.
It was not. It was only NBA.
Okay, well maybe I haven't done it in a while, but that's how it used to be. And it used to be this dumb TNT.
How long ago?
A couple years. So maybe I'm outdated.
Okay. Maybe they changed it right before I started because I think it was not last year, but the year before the finals and playoffs for NBA. I was watching on my iPad using the app. But
hey,
here's my thoughts on this. Honestly, I'm just gonna say I agree with Brian when he says, "Oh, that's the wrong one." WB needs Discovery more than Discovery needs WB. He's also got to go.
Yes.
So have a good one, Brian. Terry, our final comment here on this subject. Amazon has a few days a season of the English Premier League, and it's fantastic. They show every game on the day. Well worth the fee alone. And I will say that there are times when I have to choose, but like Thursday night football. I think this year it's exclusively on Amazon, right?
It is. Yeah, I think the first couple of weeks it's like dual with it's like with NFL Network, but that's like some NFL stupid contract crap. But it's basically on Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm okay with it doing the thing because whenever it was on Amazon, that's where I watched it the most. Like that's where I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah,
the
you
most.
just pull it up on your phone, man.
Yeah.
You know,
pull it up on my phone, my iPad, my laptop, and then I can do whatever I want. So if I wanted to play football and watch football and play Madden, and I didn't have 2 TVs set up, I could just throw on my iPad.
I mean, I won't lie. I think, we talked about Amazon buying Sunday Ticket. I think we are, in this growing pains stage where I think in like 10, 15 years, we're going to be spoiled with the options and the ease of being able to pull up any game, any show, just like that. Like, and I think one thing I was hearing about, or like just listening to on the Bill Simmons podcast, which I listen to all the time, he was talking about how, why don't we have, and he thinks it's going to happen where fans are going to have the option of picking out any sort of like broadcasting pair you want for any game. Like there's going to be all these like different options of streaming. It's not just going to be like the one CBS or NBC broadcast, but it might be like a slew of different options to choose from. And I don't know. I just think there's going to be a lot more like, I don't know, just different options, I guess, going forward that you can choose specifically for you.
Yes. Final comment from Tyler Lucantu, who is literally in the kitchen in front of me cooking. He said, and that's why I just use YouTube TV and cancel it after college basketball. And that's true. That's what he does. He has it for 6 months, college football through college basketball. And then he's like, baseball and basketball and the NBA can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
We will be right back. We're going to take a momentary break so I can catch my breath. And then we'll be coming back with the fastest news segment in the Western Hemisphere. Hello, I'm Thor, son of Dale, here to tell you about the Life of Thor Productions official shop. The only place where you can get your official merchandise for the LightsThunderAction podcast and Life of Thor's Thor Watches series. Whether you want t-shirts, tanks, hoodies, mugs, and masks, Life of Thor Productions official shop has you covered. If you happen to recognize there's an item that you would like to buy that is not in the official shop, head over to the LightsThunderAction podcast or Life of Thor and request that item, because if you want it, we'll sell it. Just head to lotproductions.threadless.com/collections to get the item that calls out to you via the Force. Again, that is lotproductions.threadless.com/collections. Thank you, and have a Thor-tastic day.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
And we are back. David, before we dive into the fastest news segment of the week, where I talk really fast and you probably won't have much to say because it's DC.
I love things to say. I always have things to say.
It's just not your go-to. Last week, we didn't have a show because the only day I had free for the show was on Wednesday, but I'd already committed to everybody. I'm sorry, Mark B. Lee's Mark Knows Everybody. He had Dennis Cutter on, a.k.a. the mad scientist who works with the Kitchen Killers. And some insane long-haired hooligan decided to challenge a chef to a cook-off at MegaCon. Chef Thor RD will go one-on-one with the mad scientist, and one of us will win. But honestly, we're all going to win because it's going to be some dope food. It's going to be fantastic. MegaCon is in August. David's going to be there. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to kidnap him and bring
Where is
Jack.
MegaCon?
Orlando.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the biggest one in Florida. I ain't never been. But
yeah,
going to be a cook-off at the HWWS Kitchen Killers Friday night extravaganza show. Get ready to see Chef Thor RD make something.
Very cool.
That was the first brief news segment of... Ladies and gentlemen, that's the fastest news segment in the Western Hemisphere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lightning News. I should have had a sound effect ready to go, but I didn't. Batman gets a new animated series. We'll get to the question in a moment. Batman Caped Crusader. J.J. Abrams, the Batman director Matt Reeves, and Bruce Timm will produce a new animated series for HBO Max entitled Batman Caped Crusader. The series was described as a reimagining of the Batman mythos. The official statement reads, "We are beyond excited to be working together to bring this character back to tell engrossing new stories in Gotham City. The series will be thrilling, cinematic, and evocative of Batman's noir roots, while diving deeper into the psychology of these iconic characters. We cannot wait to see this new world. This powerful creative partnership will once again reinvent Batman and his iconic rogues gallery with sophisticated storytelling, nuanced characters, and intense action sequences, all set in a visually striking world." David, is there too much Batman?
No, absolutely not. I think, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't care nearly as much as I do about DC if Batman wasn't involved. He's my favorite character, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Him by himself, just being Batman in Gotham with his rogues gallery of villains, is my favorite kind of Batman. This series sounds great. Obviously, Bruce Timm is one of the producers, or I think he's the showrunner of the old animated Batman series that everyone's kind of familiar with, some people got introduced to the character through that animated show and is pretty beloved amongst fans. This looks really interesting, right? And I think it's not only just adding more to the HBO Max catalog, because obviously trying to make that bigger and better, but I think the creative team behind this, the fact they're bringing Tim back, and that it's Matt Reeves too, which is working on the Batman for everyone that doesn't know. And J.J. Abrams, who's he's kind of J.J. Abrams is going to be doing a lot with DC because he's that deal with Warner, him and his Bad Robot team.
Yep.
But yeah, this totally, I think this looks cool, man. I love that it's going to be a little more psychological. It might be. It's more of a. Seems like more of a character study, kind of him, of Gotham, and that's what I love about the character. I hope they dive into it. I'm sure the animation is going to be really cool. This poster looks kind of retro. It has a bit of that 90s, 80s, almost feel to it. It doesn't feel very 2021. I love that. It looks illustrated. His ears don't look great in my opinion, but everything else about him looks awesome. And I'm really interested in this series.
You were talking about it's retro. Those ears are OG Batman, dude.
Right.
So that's how cool it seems. I was like, okay, cool. Matt Reeves, Abrams, and Bruce Timm.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm 100% in, all in. But then they showed me this picture and I was like, oh. I hadn't even read the comments. All I knew was who was involved and seeing the picture.
Mm-hmm.
That was all I needed. I mean, they said Batman animated Bruce Timm. I'm always in. All right, I'm always in. That shaped me as a child, and those stories. I mean, he's the reason why the DC animated movies are still better than their live action movies, because he started that trend of great storytelling with these characters, which is something that really started back in the day with Super Friends.
Right.
So, you know, moving on. There it is. Jason Momoa Jason Momoa worked on the Aquaman 2 script. Here is the full quote. After we ended the first one, I went in with my writing partner and we dreamed up the second one. And we went in and pitched the idea. And the best thing I can give you is that I loved it so much that I participated in the writing of it. And so we did the first treatment, and then James and our original writer, David, finished it off, and all of our hearts are in it. Instead of just like getting a script and doing that, like you are 100% being encouraged by your directors and co-writers. So that's exciting for me, and I'm excited to go over there. I leave in July, and we start filming That is from Momoa. Do you trust Momoa, David?
Yeah, I do trust Momoa, and I think this is cool. You know, Aquaman 1 made $1 billion, mostly because it's Jason Momoa as Aquaman, let's be honest. And I think, you know, DC films, you know, James Wan, I love how I like when actors really believe in what they're doing and love the characters they're playing, and you feel that in the movies. And him being a part of that writing room and pitching an idea, and you know, just him being passionate about this is a great thing. You know, I mean, he's one of the survivors of what has become like the whole Snyderverse and the mess of Warner Brothers. And I think, yeah, I mean, I liked the first one. Okay. I was fine for me, but I'm excited for the second one enough. And I think Jason Momoa is great in the role. And I like his passion for it. That's how much as I would say.
Very fair. I'm excited. I'm just excited to know that like it's not only is it moving on, but we're like a month away from filming. That's exciting to me.
They're starting it soon. Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I don't know a single date for any DC movie. And I'm a DC fan. On the DC side, I'm just like, surprise me. Make a good movie, surprise me. Because
Flash?
it's like Fox and X-Men. I'm like, I hope you do good, but there's too much bad history for me to know as of right now what are you about to do, because it's supposed to be a what have you done for me lately, but even that is so very erratic.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that, you know, this is, and here's the exciting part. We did discuss Discovery, and we'll move on after this. With Discovery now kind of overseeing Warner Media and DC, I feel like we actually are probably going to get all the multiversal stuff we want, and then it's going to explode, and then they'll bring it all together in some massive universe event building thing. Yeah. And then at that point, they would have done the opposite of Marvel. Instead of starting one universe and expand, they started multi-universes and condensed. And that might be the method. That's maybe what DC should do. Well, I just gave them a free idea. Shit.
It seems like that's what they're doing with, like, you know, even with Matt Reeves, the Batman, and Joker, and whatever, and the new Superman movie coming out. Like, it seems like they're going to make a multiverse where there's individual stories happening in their own universe. And it's easy for film fans to think of that because that's how a lot of these superhero movies go. You know, they're happening in their own little world. But it leaves them the option, because they're all under the same umbrella at DC, of saying if one day they decide to do a little crossover, hey, Flash runs fast, and now it's possible. So
that is, put a pin in that exact sentence, David, because just wait until we come later. What if it was Flash runs fast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hinty. Moving on, new Superman animated series. It is My Adventures with Superman for HBO Max and Cartoon Network. Jack Quaid is the voice of Clark. The show has already received a 2-season order, and Alice Lee of Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist will play Lois Lane. The DC series will follow Clark, Lois, and photographer Jimmy Olsen as they navigate their early 20s, there it is, in a serialized coming-of-age story. The trio will work together at the Daily Planet as an investigative news team, all while beginning to discover who they are. It will also track Clark's rise as Superman, in addition to the blossoming of his relationship with Lois Lane as the series progresses. David, are you interested in this series?
A little. It sounds fun. Completely different reasons why I'd be excited for the Batman series, Cape Crusader. And I think that's purposeful. This is a lighthearted, I could see maybe geared towards more children. Who knows? But it seems fun. Jack Quaid as the actor, you can already see where they're going with this, right?
Oh yeah,
kind of like a goofy, kind of dorky Superman, Clark Kent, kind of having a fun adventure with Jimmy Olsen and Lois, and it being maybe a cute romance story. And I feel like Superman, actually being Superman, is not going to be like the main focal point in this, and I think it's going to be just like a really fun time. So I might watch it, but it sounds pretty delightful. I'd say that's how I'd put it.
Okay, that's very interesting that you say that it's not going to focus on Superman, because I actually agree. I think Superman will just be another tool in the pouch of the show.
Yeah, it's not going to be this whole thing with like, Lex Luthor one day and Brainiac the other day, and Zod. I think it's going to be more about Clark and these three characters, right? And just their little adventures, literally. And I think him being Superman's almost going to be like a gimmick to the show. He's also Superman, right? And goes and does these super heroic things. But then what's really important to the show is going to be his character and his love interest with Lois and his friend Jimmy Olsen, the photographer, and his life as Clark Kent. And the more I talk about it, the more I sell myself on it. Someone hire me.
We already have, David. We already have. Here's my thing. For the visual audience, we have the picture up that was released, and just from this photo, you can already just see exactly who each of these characters are. Jimmy Olsen, just the bright-eyed, big-eyed, smiling. Let's take a picture. I'm so excited to be a part of the team. Lois Lane is the young. The young Padme Amidala, if you will. Just, we're going to do this because we can. And then Clark's like, what? I'm okay. I don't want to. Okay, well, that's going to lead to, okay, now I got to be Superman. Okay, and now I'm back. And I think it's going to go exactly like that. I mean, that was Jack Quaid in my head really talking right there. So I'm very excited to see this. And, the fact that they're in their early 20s, geared towards kids, but I think it's going to be geared toward the teenagers, and it may even be geared a little bit more toward those young adults, because it is that time in their life. So it's got a similar feel when I look at the animation of Harley Quinn in the style, in the fact that the style evokes the emotion of the characters, and that's what makes me the most excited for this. This is not a very fast news segment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. Will the real Bruce Wayne please stand up? David.
Yes.
That was it. I just wanted to make that joke. Moving on. The Batman images. Thank you.
That was the news segment for that.
That was the news segment, man. The Riddler. We get a better look at the Riddler, which now you can see on our visual media. And oh my, I love it so much. It's so unnerving.
Yeah,
it's like part
Imagine
gas mask
telling you a riddle. Oof.
Oh my god! If I could think of a riddle in my head, I just instantly did the Thrawn impression. It was just like, "What is red, white, and red? What is black, white, and red all over the newspaper?" It looks great. I really dig this look. And then we got a better look, a more lighted and brighter look at the Batman costume. And God damn it, that collar, dude.
I love the chest piece. That's what I like the most. And I'm not sure about the collar. It needs to grow on me. But in action, in the trailer, which I would contend is maybe the best trailer I've ever seen in my entire life. Just kidding, but it's honestly amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, like it's up there.
So good.
You were complaining earlier this week about teaser trailers. That was a teaser trailer.
Yes, and that was a teaser trailer that, similar to Eternals, doesn't tell you much, but makes you completely interested and buy into what's happening in it.
Exactly.
And it's great. Super excited. I honestly wish, because me and Thomas had this conversation over text where I'm like, what the hell happened teaser trailers that are like 30 seconds long. Now they're all 2 minutes, but they still are doing the jobs of not giving us plot points. And I honestly think we needed more teasers that are at that length and less, I guess, trailers, because nowadays we get so spoiled before we get into like plot points and what's going on. And I know it's all just to make money. So it's not, they're not handcrafting all this. So, we perfectly know like not enough, and like surprises still happen and we don't know exactly what's going on. But I think we see a little too much these days. And these teasers like the Batman and Eternals, like they're so good. I mean, the Batman trailer, and especially with the Riddler, with the tape unrolling at the beginning, and it just looks, I cannot wait for this movie. And these photos, the Batman looks great. Pattinson looks awesome in the suit. And the Riddler just looks terrifying. He looks like a serial killer.
I have a couple little notes that I forgot about in here.
Sure.
Pattinson actually just signed an overall deal with WB. Is that more Batman or more niche awards-worthy performances?
So it's with actually the producing side of things. So basically, when he's working on a project, when he's producing a project, he has to take it to WB first and pitch it to them and be like, hey, do you want to take this? And if not, he can take it somewhere else. But he has to go to WB. So it's basically like them working together is going to be what happens with all this, where he's going to be.
So that means niche awards stuff then.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's good stuff to be excited for right there. Niche award stuff. The Rock. The Rock has come back as Crypto. Dog of Krypton. There it is. Black Adam star Dwayne Johnson has been tapped to voice the role of Crypto, the super dog in DC League of Super Pets. According to Variety, the animated DC film will revolve around Superman's dog, who teams up with a flying cat to stop crime while the Man of Steel is on vacation. I'm going to be real, David. I am all the way in on this movie based on that one synopsis, but are you invested in this good boy?
Am I invested? Absolutely not. I hadn't heard of this until this news came out. I mean, sure, this seems something like I would probably never watch, honestly. But hey, The Rock staying in DC, doing more DC things, being super powered in other certain situations and ways, and he's obviously a good voice actor from Moana. My bad.
Moana.
Yeah.
Make way.
Will he bust out in song again? We'll have to wait and find out.
I'm the super dog.
It's
That's
like,
it.
Remember the Underdog movie and the Underdog song?
No, I don't think I remember the song, but I do remember the Underdog movie. I know.
It was by like Kyle Massey or something. Anyways,
yeah, I don't know.
Childhood memory of mine.
Childhood memory. Now we jump to a thicker portion. This is just Green Lantern updates, so buckle up, Buttercup, because we got a lot. First off, according to Deadline, American Horror Story actor Finn Wittrock has been cast to star as Guy Gardner, the biggest dickhead in the galaxy, and his iteration of the Green Lantern character. The series, which at that time remained without an official name, still might not have one, is set to start filming this year. The report also mentions that the casting for Alan Scott is expected to be announced shortly, as the deal with the actor is on the brink of becoming official. Fast forward to the other day, the Illuminati revealed that actor Jeremy Irvine is in final negotiations to take on the role of Alan Scott in the HBO Max Green Lantern Corps series. Again, why I was confused about that naming thing. I thought it was the Green Lantern Corps forever. Anyways, moving on. The deal to play the original Green Lantern is reportedly a 1-year deal. Sticking on this casting news, there is a casting call that's been released indicating the importance of Sinestro's presence in the show. He's still a Green Lantern, so that'll be fun to watch. The Fall of Sinestro. HBO Max has tapped Lee Tolan Krieger to direct multiple episodes of the upcoming Green Lantern series, including the pilot Who learned that exclusively, I hear you asking? The Direct.com had learned that. David,
Yep.
Are there brighter days to come for the Green Lantern franchise fans?
You'd
like
hope
me?
so. After the debacle that was Ryan Reynolds' movie, I'm not like a huge Green Lantern guy. I mean, I've said it again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like I'm generic. I love Batman. I like Superman a lot. Sometimes love Superman, but love Batman. And Green Arrow to me, never someone I grew up with comic wise or obviously movie wise. You only have the
Green
one
Arrow?
live act. Green Lantern. I apologize. Getting my greens mixed up here. I grew up a little more with Green Arrow because the CW show. But I'm excited for this. I mean, Green. I want to say Arrow. Green Lantern is such a cool character when it comes to like the corpse of it, or the core of it, like having a bunch of them, and then also the abilities with the ring and being able to like conjure up whatever you think. I think it's really cool, and I would assume yes, that means there are brighter days ahead of us. But honestly, I'm just gonna wait and see on this one because I'm not a huge Green Lantern fan. The one of Ryan Reynolds wasn't very good. And we'll see with this, like this is a new thing and it's going to be a series, right? So
yes,
that's a whole different kind of like element to it. It's going to be kind of, we'll see what the budget is for that and where the story goes. But I'm excited. I'm moderately excited for this. Yes.
So you know nothing about this series then?
I literally know nothing.
They're producing it with a movie level budget. The way that they've discussed it, Mark Guggenheim and Greg Berlanti were actually involved in the first Green Lantern film. Greg Berlanti and Mark Guggenheim, obviously famous for crafting Arrow, Flash, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Batwoman, Black Lightning, etc., building up to the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was fucking awesome. Which quick shout out to Julia. She understood that I was singing Super Friends from the Flash musical episode, the greatest episode that ever existed. Yes, insert Leo DiCaprio meme of pointing. But they're actually producing this, from the sounds of it, like a Disney Plus Marvel show in terms of the money going in, how they're looking at the characters, and it looks to be a deep character dive into each of these characters, which will have those characters, Baz, and I believe an entirely brand new character created that's a female. I think to shorten Badass, I think was the description. It is. We're gonna move on. We were talking about animated films. Terry McIver had a great question. Will Crypto come up against Black Adam? One can only hope. But another animated film coming out is going to be Injustice. I'm not even going to jump. I mean, obviously, everybody knows that Injustice was this amazing game that people love, etc., etc. And now they're making it into an animated film. David, do you even care?
You know why I wouldn't care? Why I would say I don't care is because if you watch the cutscenes of the game, that's basically an animated movie, and it's really good. I love the Injustice movies. I played with my friends. We liked playing back and forth and playing the story mode together. I remember one summer we like played through Injustice 2. Like we just like traded off the controller, like when we die and stuff, and went through the cutscenes. And it's on YouTube. It's like an hour and a half. It's a good animated movie the way it is. So in that sense, no. But sure, I liked the game and it's a cool story. But in my opinion, it's already happened.
You could make the same argument that it's in the comics too. So it's already happened. But
They're bringing in more money.
Hey man, and you know what's great? It's an animated film, so it's going to be great.
Right.
There are very few of their animated films that don't hit. So that Crypto the Dog, let's go. My favorite title is Dave Bautista wants to be Bane. There are certain characters. This is a direct quote from the man himself. There are certain characters I've latched onto over the past 10, 20 years, and Bane was one of them. No discredit to Tom Hardy's version of Bane. I love that performance. I love that film. I just love a crack at it. I think I could bring an interesting twist to it. And I think I could do the character justice, not only in performance, but in physicality. I'd love that role where I'd have to get back up to 320 pounds just to play this character. Like that it would happen. I could play Bane in a way that's not only menacing and ominous, but also freakishly intelligent. Bane would be the type of character that's so menacing and so terrifying and so intelligent, he would hardly ever raise his voice. David, I almost called you Dave for a second because I was reading it. Do you want Bane Tista?
I mean, he looks the part, and he clearly has passion for it and would be interested in playing the role. Sure, I think if they did a Bane again, I think Dave Bautista would be on the top of my list, honestly, because he, one, looks the part, and two, seems to be really interested in playing it, which I think is a factor. Yeah, I would be definitely interested. I like his... I like his interpretation of the character. Bane is a really cool villain. I am iffy on the Tom Hardy rendition, but I don't think he's as bad as other people say. And yeah, I think even in like a Matt Reeves, Pattinson Batman, I would like to see Batista as Bane. Sure.
Oh my God, yes. He would fit so well in there.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. Like Batman, for the most part, in all the movies, very rarely is his enemies actually intelligent enough to cause a damage to him.
Yeah.
Right. It's all just, it's brute.
Whoa.
Drank for the in the middle of a sentence. Am I back or are you back?
I don't think you're back.
I'm back. I got lost. Rutro raggy. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying, but moving on to a downturn. Joss Whedon told Gal Gadot that he would finish her career. He told her directly that if she did something, he would make sure her career would be miserable. And she took care of it right away. I only threw this in here because it needed to be mentioned how stupid and narcissistic that statement is from Joss Whedon. David, thoughts?
I mean, I just think that threat held no weight. Gal Gadot would have still had a career. She'd still be Wonder Woman. Joss Whedon needs to check himself, is all I'd say.
I say it didn't happen. So
yeah,
he was wrong. You were wrong.
It's sad. It's sad, the whole Joss Whedon thing, because I love Avengers. Age of Ultron ages like fine wine. Everyone agrees on that. And those are both very much so Whedon movies. And, it's just a shame all this stuff coming out about him and just how he seems to just kind of be a crummy guy, I guess.
I mean, here's the thing we shouldn't do is be like, well, he's now just a crummy guy and he's always been a crummy guy. It's not, only a Sith deals in absolutes. So, we're all cracked vessels. We all have our flaws. We all have our anger moments where we lash out. We all have moments where shit's going so bad in life that we kind of let our own anger ooze out. But hey, guess what? We normally don't. I don't know. There was going to be a positive end on this, but you do you. Make your decisions. I believe in you. You believe in me. This was moving on. It's been a long but yet short show. Margot Robbie has been pushing for Ivy Quinn. Trust me, direct quote from her, of course. Trust me, I chew their ear off about it all the time. They must be sick of hearing it. But I'm like, Poison Ivy, Poison Ivy, Poison Ivy, Poison Ivy. Come on, let's do it. I'm very keen to see a Harvey Poison Ivy relationship on screen. It'd be so fun. So I'll keep pestering them. Don't worry. A, thank you, Margot Robbie, because I was worried. And B, is love in the air?
I mean, in the DCEU, at least that from what we know, what we last saw in Birds of Prey, she's broken up with the Joker. It could be a thing. Obviously, this is coming on the heels of the Harley Quinn animated show that everyone seemed to love, and they had a romantic relationship in that.
In the comics.
In the comic, right? Well, yeah. But like that's I think where most people are like coming from, because that was, I guess, was really good. Maybe I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, would I like to see it? Sure. I mean, I'm curious what happens in Suicide Squad, like if she makes that out alive. So I'm more worried about her living at this point. But yeah. Who knows, really?
On the spot fan casting, David, Poison Ivy, go.
Gosh. Poison Ivy fan casting. Who plays Jessica Jones on Netflix?
Ooh, Kristen Ritter. What a damn good pull. That's good. I support that. Their chemistry would be off the charts. They would cross over like no other crossover. David, remember when I told you to put a pin in the fact that the Flash runs fast, so he'll be the one to bring these together? The Flash is going to be leading the CW crossovers. Here's the full quote. According to a report from TV Line covering the CW's upcoming fall lineup, surprising details about the opening of the Flash's 8th season were revealed. The season will kick off with a 5-episode event that will feature crossovers with other Arrowverse superheroes. That's how it's phrased. What's going to be said next is going to change my wording on how I continue to address this further. CW CEO Mark Pedowitz was on hand to shed light on the newly announced event, saying it won't quite be a crossover, at least not in the sense that most fans are used to. He said, "We're talking about other superheroes from the CW verse. It's called the fucking Arrowverse, dude. Stop branding shit that has already been branded. It'll come together in each of the individual episodes. It will not quite be a crossover, but it will have a crossover type feel at the introduction of all these characters." How I have read this is that each character will come on for their individual episode and have a part in helping Flash do his thing. That's how I'm reading it. And honestly, because it's different than what we've been doing so far, and DC's kind of doing this different situation, is this the future, David?
I mean, I guess so. It's definitely interesting from where they were doing it or how they were doing it before with the crossovers. And I think it's cool in these shows to see characters, familiar faces on other shows. And it's smart, I think, putting it at the top of the season to interest viewers of maybe one certain show like The Flash to go watch another show that's also on CW that is also happening at the same time. I think it's smart business, I think, for the CW producers to say, hey, let's put these characters out there at the beginning when hype is really big. You get the most viewers in the first week normally, and then some people kind of go watch something else. But seeing different characters where it's like, oh, I like that character. Oh, they have a whole other show where they're the main character. I'll go check that out. So I think it's a smart move. And so, yeah, I guess it is for the future.
Moving on to our final one with a graphic, because there's really nothing to talk about after on these next two. They're just old hat. Batgirl has hired writers and directors. The Hollywood Reporter has revealed that Warner Brothers has hired Bad Boys for Life and Miss Marvel directing duo Bilal Fallah and Adil El Arbi to direct a Batgirl movie. They join writer Christina Hodson on the crew for the movie, who has previously worked on Birds of Prey and The Flash for DC. David, hype or not? Also, it's supposed to be going to HBO Max, by the way, as a film. Hype or
not? Definitely on the side of hype, but not out of my mind. I think this sounds good. And honestly, as someone, I guess, who's more of a Marvel fan, it's ooh, Miss Marvel's probably going to be good then, because they saw what she did with that, or what she's doing with that. It's ooh, yeah, she gets it. She understands. She would knock this out of the park with Batgirl. I think Batgirl could be it's Barbara Gordon, right?
Yes.
That's the interpretation. Okay, yeah.
They haven't revealed that, but that's the assumption.
That's normally Batgirl. Yeah.
Fucking better be.
Yeah, right.
Language.
I think the story could be really cool, and I like how it's going straight to HBO Max, honestly. It sets expectations in a different way for me in my head, and I think this could be a really neat property. Bad Boys for Life was pretty good. I really liked what was the writer, Christina Hodson.
Yes.
Birds of Prey. I really enjoyed that. She's working on The Flash for DC. It's all that little DCEU connective tissue.
Ooh,
I'm in. It sounds pretty cool.
What a rhyme, David. He's a poet. David, know it. Really quick, going back to Ivy before we move on to our next story.
I saw this.
Emma Stone is a good fan casting from Willow Schuyler, and son of a bitch if I don't love that too. I still don't know who I'd cast. I love both of them, but I don't. If I'm being honest, that Kristen Ritter one fits so perfectly that blew my mind a little. Pop is in the show now. There we go. That was words. From the HWWS WebTV and of course Sage Aya. We're the Thunder Twins and the Thunder Buddies, and we're just hanging out, man. We're here. Julia said she agrees with you on something, David, and I believe it was getting hype for Miss Marvel. But now, both, I guess. Now we move on to a galaxy far, far away. We don't need graphics for this because, as everybody knows, Rangers of the New Republic was a show that was supposed to be in development, but recently this quote came in. In December, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy announced that Filoni and Favreau are executive producing several Mandalorian spin-offs for Disney+, including The Book of Boba Fett, which is currently shooting and premiering in December, and Ahsoka, starring Rosario Dawson, and based on the character Filoni created in the Clone Wars. Parenthesis, a third announced spinoff, Rangers of the New Republic, is not currently in active development. Wow. Also unexpected. I'm sorry. Unsurprising. That one. That's the one I really meant. Because, I expected that. It's coming really on the heels of the Gina Carano situation. David, thoughts? Do you have any? I feel like you've talked about this at nauseum at this point.
I mean, not on this show. So I would just say, I am not disappointed that it's not happening. Is what my answer to this would be. I think there's a lot of Star Wars Disney Plus shows coming down the pike. This seemed to be one of the least exciting ones coming out. I mean, what they've built with Mandalorian's great, and spinning off of that is sure to be successful for them. But with the whole Gina Carano situation, obviously she was going to be one of the main characters in it, and there's a lot of other things to watch. There's a lot of other more Star Wars Disney Plus series coming out, and this one, to me, I'm not really going to miss it. And who knows, active development, that it's not clear whether this will still be a thing at some point, or maybe, they'll do something else with the New Republic, do a different series with a different kind of cast and vibe that they haven't quite figured out yet. So who knows? They're obviously they have to shift around right now because of Gina Carano, but, we could still get a New Republic story at some point, which focuses on, them specifically.
You had way more to say than I did. All I got to say is I'm only upset because, I understand that it was probably based all around her, which doesn't make me as upset, but I was really hoping Carson Teva, Captain Carson Teva, would be all in that situation, because I'd love to see him be a connective character across certain shows in the same essence of Coulson in the movies. Because that actor, he just has a nice dad vibe, right? And that's kind of something you need when crossing over all these characters. It's well, what do we like about him? Well, he can kick your ass in a dog fight, and he's a really nice person. And those are kind of rare in short order in the galaxy. Still in the galaxy far, far away, Dave Filoni is the executive creative director of Lucasfilm now. And while the move was made in late last last year, is indicated by a Legacy Effects Facebook post, it wasn't until recently that the promotion made waves due to a recent update to Filoni's page on the Lucasfilm website, which, again, in this one, unsurprising, I'm happy that we now officially know that, but that actually gets me even more hype for everything we've been told, because that means he's probably involved in every single one of those shows in some fashion.
Yeah, I think definitely the shows and maybe even the movies, at least being consulted over it.
Exactly.
And I think
if he's the canon guy.
Yeah, and that's smart to have. And Filoni would be the guy to do that. Considering he's had his hand in so much of Star Wars and loves it. I think this is a smart move. I think Star Wars really needed, just like DC, they needed a Kevin Feige for the sequel trilogy. They didn't have one. If Filoni could be somewhat like that, the rules of Fs, Favreau, Filoni, these guys are just printing money for Disney right now with
Favreau, Filoni, Feige.
Yeah, exactly. So I think good move. I'm excited for the future of Star Wars. I wish there was more movies currently planned. Maybe they're in the works that I would love to hear about. But yeah, I think this is a smart move. I think Filoni should be leading the creative pack when it comes to Lucasfilm and Star Wars.
I agree. Before we officially leave this fast segment, we're going to keep going back to this. Currently, Sage said Bad Batch is awesome, though. She's content with that for now. Me too. But also, am I ever content with Star Wars? The answer is no. Going back to Ivy, HWWS WebTV on Facebook says Emma Stone or Bryce Dallas Howard for Ivy. I agree. That's a good one. I don't really know what's going on with my lips right now, but I can't really feel, and I feel like my W sound dumb. Here we go. Christina Hendricks as Ivy, coming from Jerome Connor, which is going to be fun. Here we go, David. I finally decided who mine would be. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Emily Blunt. Because the character has to worry about, the character cares about plants to the point that they care about not humans. I feel Emily Blunt could pull that off to the degree that you're like, yeah, I care about these plants too, and also still be able to give comedic barbs back and forth with Margot Robbie, but still being the straight man in that relationship in the sense of like, God, you're insane.
Who played Cheetah in 84?
Kristen Wiig.
She'd be pretty good.
Bro, you trying to win my heart over right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that ship sailed because she was Cheetah.
Multiverse.
I wouldn't hold
Here
your
we
breath.
go. I will do it anyway. Question from the comments really fast. Steven, the guy who lifts things up and puts them down in slightly different places, wants to know, what spin-off series of Star Wars would you like to see?
Spin-off?
Mm-hmm.
See, I feel like we're getting a lot of spin-offs. And what's the one?
Yeah, what's the one?
The one that's already been announced, or the one like that I would dream up?
The one that you want to see the most, whether it exists or it doesn't exist.
Well, I think if you count Obi-Wan as spin-off, it's Obi-Wan. I think Acolyte, to me, sounds very interesting, because I think anything revolving around the Sith and where, like, I'd love to see something, which I think Acolyte might provide, that like 10-year period before Phantom Menace of what was actually happening behind the scenes and how everything got in place for that stretch of the prequels would be interesting. So yeah, I guess for things that are already announced, Obi-Wan, Acolyte, those I'm really excited for as being these spin-off, entities that I think could, bring in some really exciting stories to Star Wars.
I'm going to go on the dream side of things. I agree. I want to see more with the Sith. I want to see more dark side. My number one, Vader.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Obviously. Period. Done. Number one, Vader.
Hopefully in Obi-Wan, it's a little bit.
And that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm listening. I just finished Thrawn Alliances, and we get. Here's my thing. Okay, I didn't want to dive deep. I was going to save it for next week, but here's a little tidbit of why I love Thrawn Alliances so much. It does not give you as much information about Thrawn as the first book, so it's a little bit more of an event book than it is a Thrawn character study. But it does give you a breakdown of Anakin Skywalker versus Darth Vader in the mind of Vader. And it also correlates certain motivations and movements and things that he did and learned in a mission as Anakin Skywalker when he first met Thrawn to this mission when he's now Darth Vader, and Thrawn is slowly putting the pieces together that Anakin and Vader are the same, at the very least, share the same memory / mind. In the sense of, if he can't prove it by seeing a face, he's not going to say for certain. So that's why I want that. But I would also kill for a Darth Bane, like the start of the Rule of Two. And then, this comes from Jack, and I got to give shout out to Jack Hughes of the Direct. I want to see, I think it was Jack, or was it you, David? An entire anthology of every Sith Lord leading up to Palpatine.
Had to have been Jack
from Darth Bane.
Yeah,
Jack Hughes, man, that's it. Pop's getting ideas while we're working here. Caleb, the Yoshi avatar, says Leslie Jones is Ivy, and I actually fucking like
that question's just got picked up by everyone. Everyone likes
I like that question.
Casting.
It's a good question. I like it. especially Leslie Jones, because like in terms of comedic going back and forth, that'd be fucking amazing. Like, I'm gonna let Pop type up what he's going on. David, where can everyone find you on the social media?
You guys can find me at David Thompson on Facebook and just my name on Facebook, and David J. Thompson on TikTok and Instagram. Sorry. And then David Thompson with 2 A's in the David on Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter, guys. It's where I'm most active, where I like to talk about all of these things and share all of my stories that I'm writing. Thomas, what about you?
You can find me at Linktree.com/TCRochesterACT. That's TCRochesterACT. And of course, it'll have the links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and my website and IMDb, and LightsThunderAction and HWWS everywhere. I will take you literally everywhere. You'll see why my mind is always so squirrel. So Pop has mentioned in the comments, David. Here we go. Hey guys, I have a great idea for a convention panel featuring you guys. Awesome. Oh, dyslexia. Hold on. A convention panel featuring you awesome guys. It just hit me. Thunder Buddies Inside the Headlines Live.
I like the title.
I do too. I do too. Steven, because we're still on Ivy, says Sophie Turner as Ivy. And
Sophie Turner. Interesting.
I feel like that one's too obvious for me to actually want it and enjoy it as much as I should.
Huh. Yeah.
Because it's like same thing I said about Emily Blunt. Sophie Turner nails it.
Right.
Like that exact breakdown of a character, she'd nail that too. Jerome Connor, Palpatine as a Sith apprentice is what he wants to see.
Yeah, with Hiddleston as the role.
And oh fuck, dude, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been falling for 30 minutes. All right. You can what is the next part of our closing segment? David, what do you have to promote? Shit.
Go read whatever I'm writing over at the Direct. Whatever we're writing at the Direct, at the Diz Insider. I wrote I got to review something different from what I normally write about. I wrote about High School Musical, the musical series. Season 2 is back. I memed about watching High School Musical series over Bad Batch on Fridays. And I wrote a episode 1 and 2 review on it. I'm going to try to keep doing reviews on that. So go check out all of my work. Go check out all the work over at thedirect.com, the Direct Podcast. Shout out to Matt and Liam. They're doing a great job over there. You can find them on anywhere you find our audio podcasts. Thomas, what about you?
David.
Yes.
You got to get on point with Bad Batch, bro.
I apologize. I haven't watched any.
Blah, blah, blah. He's like, I watched High School Musical much funner than Bad Batch. I could force choke you. You force choked yourself earlier on Twitter too, so like you already knew what was coming. You knew what this was. I have a lot to promote. Okay, Pensacon was last weekend. Check out my Instagram. I'm gonna keep posting a lot more in the oh shit, that's my mic. I'm gonna post a lot more on Instagram. I have a lot of photos. I still have photos from last year I never posted, so I gotta fix that. Zombies the movie is filming right now. Again, you can go to gofundme.com/zombies the movie ZOM. My God, I'm sorry. Linktree.com/zombies the movie ZOMBEEZTHE movie. And I'm looking for something before we go off that Brian asked me kindly to say. HWWS would like to send thoughts to the friends and family of Eric Carle, famed children's author who passed away this week. He helped a lot of us learn how to read. That comes directly from Brian Wenzelop, always in the know, making me look like I know nothing like Jon Snow. We got to the rhyme. Really quick, David, while we're here, because we're live, Thunder Buddies Inside the Headlines. This humorous and insightful panel. This humorous and insightful panel is an interactive discussion of the latest popular culture headlines. Actor and online personality Thomas Carter. Right? Oh my God, it almost does fit. Holy shit. Almost. Review the latest and greatest headlines and talk with audience members about the implications and inspirations for today's comics, movie, television, and pop culture revelations. Learn things you may not have known, debunk rumors, and debate today's arts. And I don't know where this must have been on. It's not. I don't know what the rest says. So, left hanging like a hanging.
No, that was all that was written. Sorry.
I think that's all that popped up on our end, David. I think there's more in the actual comments. But, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the show. As always, there could be no show without the Clark Kent doppelganger to my right, world-famous journalist David J. Thompson, bringing the news and some spicy webs. Thank you to Terry McIver for all of his hard work behind the scenes with guests, socials, and research, without whom this show would be very bush league, trust me. Thank you to HWWS for supporting us, carrying us on the network, and most importantly, thank you to our fans for joining us weekly. And whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, my bad.
Or listening via Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or Spreaker.
We appreciate you spending your time with us.
Please like, follow, subscribe, drop us a comment, leave a review, and give us 5 stars if you're feeling generous.
Thank you for joining episode 57 of Lights Thunder Action. And as always, we have said goodbye before, so it stands to reason.
We'll say hello again. Bye, everyone.
Hello, I'm Thor, son of Dale, here to tell you